response was. And so he let the Baal prophets go first. They flipped a coin, went first. It says, so they took the bull given them and they prepared it. And then they called on the name of Baal from morning till noon. "Oh, Baal, answer us," they shouted. But there was no response and no one answered. They said, "Oh, Baal, answer us." But there was no response. Let me tell you guys, generation after generation, our generation included, our kids' generation included, has cried out to the gods of this world, answer me, satisfy me, give me something that fills, give me something that lasts, give me something that's actually worth living for. But they have not answered. There has been no response. And we shouted out, "Satisfy me." And yeah, we have sin and it lasts for 5 minutes and it's great, but then we're empty. And most of the time we're more empty than when we started. And what we've been left with is a generation that's crying out to the gods of this world, "Please give me something." And all we've ended up with is hurting and bruised and broken and empty. Let me tell you, if you're in here and you're heaping up sin and trying to have Jesus and the world, or maybe you're in here and you're tapping your watch and saying, "When are we going to get out of here?" My question to you is this: when have the gods of this world ever satisfied you? When have you ever left from sin and saying, "Yeah, that's it. That satisfies, that fulfills, and that lasts"? Because let me tell you, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Sin does not satisfy, and sin will never fulfill. It will never, ever give you anything lasting. There was no response. I love Elijah. He begins to taunt them, saying, "Hey guys, shout louder." Perhaps he's deep in thought, or busy, or maybe Baal's traveling. I don't know. Maybe he's sleeping and must be awakened. So they shouted louder. They were like, maybe he's right. They shouted louder and they slashed themselves and they cut themselves and they danced around the altar, but there was no response. And Elijah was like, "All right, guys, you kind of had your chance." So he goes and he rebuilds the altar. And he takes the bull and he kills it and he cuts it up and puts it on top of the altar, and he says, so there's no mistaking. And he cuts a big trench around the entire altar, and he puts buckets of water and buckets of water and buckets of water, so much that it fills up the entire trench. And then he prays this prayer. He says, "Answer me, O Lord. Answer me, so that these people will know that you, O Lord, are God, and that you are turning their hearts back again." And let me tell you, heaven roared and fire fell. And it burned up the sacrifice and the wood and the stones and the soil, and also licked up the water in the trench. And then when all the people saw this, they fell prostrate to the ground and cried, "The Lord, He is God. The Lord, He is God." Let me tell you, when Elijah had first pitched the challenge, he said, "If Baal is God, follow him. If the Lord is God, follow him." The people had said nothing. But when God showed up in fire, revival broke out. Let me tell you, when God shows up, there's no gray. You know what they did? They went and killed, and actually said, I think, slaughtered the 450 prophets of Baal. Let me tell you, God doesn't show up and be like, "Hey guys, I'm here. What's up? I'm your homeboy, right? Jesus is your homeboy. I'm the God of love. Hey, guys, let's chill out on sin. Hey, let's not be religious. Let's not be religious. Everybody hates religion. Guys, I'm the laid-back God. You can have your sin and have me too. You don't have to choose. Just add whatever you want to on top of me." No, God comes down in fire and burns up everything. And He turns their hearts back again. Let me tell you, if you're here this morning, if you're willing to say yes to God and no to sin, He will turn your heart back to Him, and He will burn up everything that stands in the way of love. Let me tell you, if you will give it up, God will burn it up. If you're willing to lay it down this morning, God will send a fire and remove anything that hinders his relationship with you. Because that's what righteousness is about, is removing anything that stands between me and Jesus. And guys, I believe that we're in this Mount Carmel moment of Baal is God, follow him. If God is God, follow him. We're in this moment, this crossroads of saying, will I follow the path of Josiah or will I follow the path of Jezebel? So let me tell you what I know. I absolutely know for a fact that the issue of the culture, the issue of our generation is Jezebel. You want to know how I know? The mass murder of babies. 50 million babies aborted in our generation, in this nation. 50 million. 50 million of your generation, 50 million of some who would be sitting in this sanctuary right now were murdered before they even took a breath. You remember how they worshiped Asherah? You remember? They would go to Asherah and they say, Asherah, I want to live a good life. I don't want to be inconvenienced. I want blessing. So here's my child. I kill it for you. Let me tell you, 50 million of our generation have been laid down on Asherah's altar, on the altar of sacrifice and greed, not wanting to be inconvenienced or embarrassed. I worship you, Asherah. Want to know how I know this is a Jezebel thing? Every second, 28,000 people are on pornography, looking at it. Last year, 800 million pornographic DVDs sold. Because you don't think you're under attack? You don't think there's more here than meets the eye? See, here's our problem. We think it's just our own little sin. We think, oh, it's just the little thing that I struggle with. It's just my insecurity. It's just my sin. It's just for a minute. And we don't realize that we've been indoctrinated into the culture and you have a bullseye on your chest. We think, oh, it's just my little sin. It's just the little thing that I struggle with. You don't realize that you've been targeted by the enemy. And we've compromised with it, and we've tolerated with it, and we've allowed it into our homes and our lives, and we've allowed our kids to do the same. Jezebel. Men and women getting into pornography, Jezebel. Sex outside of marriage, Jezebel. Abortion, Jezebel. Homosexuality, Jezebel. Human trafficking, Jezebel. Abortion, Jezebel. Theft, Jezebel. Can we take it down even to the very bottom part? Theft, Jezebel. Downloading CDs off the internet illegally, Jezebel. Come on. Are we really going to go there? Is that really a big deal to be worried about? Come on. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. And my challenge to you today is this: choose this day who you will serve. My issue to you today is this: as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to serve the Lord. And if Baal's God, serve him. Choose sin, choose anything that you want to. Choose the sinful nature. But if God is God, choose him. Choose righteousness. See, maybe you're out there, maybe you're saying, man, I don't look at pornography. That's awesome. I'm thankful. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm thankful you don't look at pornography. But here's the deal. We've been so brought up in the culture that we don't even know how to spot sin anymore. We're so dull to it. We're so mindless to it. We watch it. We listen to it, the whole deal. You know how I know? Look at our movies. Teenagers are about to hate me. It's all right. We all love the romantic comedies, right? Come on. We love them, you know, we love it, you know, we feel bad about ourselves and get out the tub of ice cream in the bathroom. I'll find love one day, you know. We sit back and then there's this like, you complete me moment and you know, the stars align and then we love the relationship where it doesn't look like it's going to work out and it's so rocky and it's just not going to happen, but then somehow love wins and they meet in the middle of the rain and there's this notebook moment and they embrace and spinning around and kissing and sure, they go back into the house and have sex, but yeah, they're probably going to get married someday, so it's all right, you know, it's not a big deal. And if they show it off, I mean, if they don't show it, if it's off screen,